Hi, how you doing? What's the gossip? Let me know. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today we are going to sit down and do a Q&A based on all the questions that you guys have been asking me, and I'm really excited to go through it. I had a lot of questions, so I've tried to almost just categorize it, and if you guys like this I can do another one to make sure that I answer everything that you guys wanted. But yeah, I went through it and some juicy questions in there, So if you see me looking down at my phone, it's just because I am just going through and making sure that I get to them all. So let's kick off. So the first question is, how did you manage to buy a house and afford renovating living alone? This is a really good question, and it is really difficult to buy a house on your own. If anybody out there has done it, or if you're working hard to achieve it, you will know that actually it is quite difficult. I did do a video quite a while ago that I was talking about how I budget. So I was in a space where I thought I really needed to live below my means. I needed to get out of debt. I needed to put all the right steps in place to achieve getting to buying a house on my own, because like a lot of other people, I didn't have any help. It wasn't like I got any money. I had to save it all myself. I had to save my deposit, and I'm someone who really loves property. I love interior design, and I thought without me doing it and doing it on my own, I may never get the opportunity to knock walls down, and it was really important to me to be able to do that. So I just worked, I got a second job. I honestly, every single minute of every single day, I was doing the cheapest grocery shopping that I could do. I just went into complete and utter focus mode to achieve what I wanted to. At the time when I decided, we had just downsized our apartment in Manchester, so we were saving money there. I got rid of my car because I didn't need one living in the city centre. There was just lots of bits and bobs that I did just to get myself ready and forward, because like I say, I know it is really difficult, but I had to change my lifestyle to be able to do it. And it was the best thing that I ever done. Obviously looking back on it now, I'm so thankful that I'd done it. But when I was doing it, some weeks were really difficult when you're seeing all your friends go out, or you have to sit back and not be able to live to that lifestyle. But like I say, I wouldn't have it any other way, because having that vision, honestly, I really just manifested. I was like, I need to get to that point. And I remember every single day I would wake up, and every day when I could transfer a little bit more money back to that savings account, it was great. So real focus, real determination, and hard work to get to what you needed to. There's lots of questions about interior design and stuff, so I will come to that. But the next question here is, where in Scotland are you from and why did you leave? So I am from a little town called Port Glasgow. So a lot of people may think it's actually Glasgow. It's not, it's just outside, and it's a small little town. And I left school in the April when I turned 16, and I moved away in the May. So I was literally 16 years of age, and at the time, if you followed me for a little bit of time, you'll know I'm older than my age. I always knew I was really strong-headed, and I was like, I want to move away, and I want to go where I can have a bit more opportunity. So that's what I done, and I love Port Glasgow. I still reference it as home. So if I'm going back to see my family, because they're all still there, I'm almost like I'm going back home for a couple of days or whatever it would be. So I love it. I think it was the right thing for me to do, but I think long term what I would love to do and would love to be able to do is buy a little home back there, so that I would have somewhere where to go maybe once a month, work from there, spend a couple of days there, and then come back here. That would be the long-term goal that hopefully I could get to at one point. The next question is, tell us more about your family. So I'm from a big family, so I'm one of 5. I've got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. One of my sisters passed away 10 years ago, and my brothers and my sister live in Scotland, and I've also got a sister that lives down here as well. So altogether there's 6 of us, 5 that are still here, and I love them all. Like, we're such a super close family, and growing up, don't know if anybody else comes from a big family, but growing up I was like, I just want my own space. I just want to not have to deal with all of them, because my big brother was a big torment. Honestly, he would torment you like to the point where they would come in room, wake you up at night and throw stuff on you and just wind you up as siblings would do. And I remember just growing up, I was so frustrated all the time with it. My little sister was more like, we were similar ages, so me and my little sister are quite similar, and we would almost hang around together, but then when we were out of the house it was like, right, don't you speak to me and don't you speak to me because we need to act cool. But as you get a bit older, I wouldn't have it any other way. They are incredible. We're all super close. And I love the fact now that I come from a big family, because now I've got lots of nieces and nephews. I live alone, so I'm probably the odd one out in terms of just coming away and like just living alone, whereas they've all got like chaotic lives which they love, and I love to go and spend time there, but then sometimes I'm like, oh my god, this is a lot, I need to go. So yeah, so I'll head back to see them, and we have a great time together. We speak often, we'll always ask each other for advice if there's things going on. We're all there for one another. So yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way than having a big family. I love it. So we'll move on to some interior questions, because you guys asked a lot of questions about interiors, which I would expect and I love. And I think it's clear that the main question that I got about my interiors was particularly around paneling. So this question here is, did you have your paneling done professionally? It's such a dream. So thank you so much. And I did all my paneling myself, so I wasn't filming too much on YouTube at the time, so there's not a lot of videos on there of it, but I have got it on all my other socials. And I honestly, like, most people will be able to do this. The thing that I would say that you need is patience, because some days you're going to want to, but you need patience, and I think having the right tools really helps. So like I had a miter saw, which really helped. I know people will do it with handsaw and stuff, which you can do, but I've done it all over my house. I did it in my previous house as well, so I've almost had a bit of practice, but it's something that I love to do. I think because I live in an old Victorian home, to me, I don't feel like I'm going to have to move with a trend. I'm not going to have to change it out. I absolutely love it. But I was so surprised at how many of you asked about my paneling and how I measure and the trim that I use and all these sort of questions. So what I think I'll do is I'll do a separate video that I'll just go around the house, because I've got lots of different types of it as well. So I'll talk to you about the moulding that I used and all the good stuff. So I was, like I say, I was so surprised, but I love paneling that much as well, so I'm so glad that you guys love it too. The next question is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to do a renovation as their first buy? I would say do it. I would say you're going to have to go into it really prepared that you're probably going to spend more money than you anticipate. It's probably going to take a lot longer than you anticipate, and you're going to have to live sometimes a little bit more uncomfortable in terms of there's going to be dust flying around a lot at certain points when you're doing certain work on the house. You're going to, the thing that got me the most that I really didn't like is, I'm someone who, as soon as I walk through the front door, I take my shoes off. I hate when I'm doing certain renovations, like in the hallway. I didn't really like that, because anytime I was leaving a room I would have to put shoes on to go to a different space. I really didn't like it, and I know that's first world problems, I get that, but if I'm trying to like make you realise some of the things that you may love, you may not get for a while. Like when I watch some YouTube videos and it's people buying a new build, or it's people buying a home that is just pretty much walk into, where you can just bring your own stuff and you're settled. Sometimes I'll look at them and I'll go, oh my god, that must be a great feeling, because I'm only using 50% of my house at the minute, because the other 50% is not done, and I've been here for 2 years. So it is something that you're going to have to get prepared to it not change over, unless you've got a budget that you can obviously throw at it straight away. But for me, mine was certainly move in and do the stuff that I need to do as a priority, and then all the other stuff I just have to do as the months go on. And to be fair, I enjoy that. I love the fact that I'm at a space now where I've got a chunk of my house done, so I can live really comfortably, and then I can just slowly move on to the rooms when I feel like I'm ready. And I'm really fortunate that I don't have a large family that I live with. I don't have a lot of other people to think about. It's just myself. Whereas I imagine if you have kids and you have a really busy household, it could create lots more problems, because you may not be able to obviously do the work either as quickly, or you may need to do it quicker because you need rooms to be ready for little ones or whatever it would be. So I would just say, if you're going into it, just do your research, prepare. Also, prepare to be let down a lot. What I found is that with workmen, the amount of times on the day that they were supposed to show up, they would text to say, can't come because something's happened, or people just, it feels like that world. I don't know what goes, I'm not a tradesman, but I honestly, the amount of letdowns I've had, it is scary. So just be prepared for that. I'm almost at a point now where if I arrange someone to come out, yes, I'll plan it. If they let me down, I don't let it bother me anymore. I just move on quite quickly. Whereas at first I would get myself so wound up and I'd be like, why? Why are they doing this? Da, 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 da. And then I'm just like, there's no point, because it'll get done. And yeah, but I would say if you're thinking about doing it, I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. The amazing thing is you get to spec your home exactly how you want it. Like building light switches that are up by my socket so all my lamps come on, like just things that you would never think about doing, or you wouldn't have the option to do if you'd buy your house already done. Like obviously I've not done my kitchen yet, but I can't wait to spec that to exactly how I want it to be. My bathroom, like my bedroom, all the electrics that you do, it's just can be perfect. Just think about it, make sure that you plan it out right. But I would highly, highly, highly recommend doing it if it's something that you want to do and you have got patience, because I didn't have a lot of patience at first, but you can get them. The next one here on the renovation is how much did your renovation cost? This is probably a really difficult one because I'm rubbish and don't track. Now, I was having a little thing and I was trying to tally up. Unfortunately, I had to do half of my roof. So the back side of my house, not where we are now, so there's another part that goes this way. All of that roof had to be changed because it was rotten, and also the chimney was, it's an old slate roof and the chimney was just leaking moisture in. A lot of that did come up on the survey to say that there was moisture up there, but I didn't realise it was as bad as it was. So I had to do that, and that cost me like, I think, if I remember rightly, I think that was like 8-9 grand just to do that bit of roof. You may get it cheaper where you live, or you may know someone that does it, and if you've got a tradesman in your family or friends, oh, you're on to a winner. But stuff like that, and then obviously when I decorate, I don't just put plaster on the wall and then paint. Obviously I do a lot of moulding. I was really high spec with my electrics that I did, and I wanted things a certain way. I put in a limestone fire surround with a log burner. That was quite a lot of money. So it's, I think depending on what spec you're going to do your house to, I tallied it up and I'm upwards of about £50,000 so far in 2 years. And like I say, that come with a big roof being done. Well, it's a chunky sized roof, but it's not even my whole roof. And then getting skirting boards matched to the old traditional Victorian ones. So there's things that I've done that's probably the reason I've spent that much. You could spend much less and then build up if you wanted to. So in terms of if you just plaster the walls and then you can slowly decorate the rooms as you go on. But like I say, and I'm probably going to double that. So there's easy that to spend again potentially with the kitchen and the bathroom. So it's a lot of money. The way that I look at it though is I'm not in this to make money. I'm in this to live here and be here and enjoy the space. I also see it as a hobby, and I also get to create content for you guys while I'm doing it. So I don't just see it as putting money into a house and then it all being gone. Obviously, if I was to come to sell, hopefully I would make some of it back, if not all of it, and then maybe a profit. I'm not too sure, but I'm not doing it for that. But I do have that in my mind when I am spending money. And also a lot of the things that the money's spent on, or not a lot of it, but parts of it, I can also take with me. But yeah, it is a chunk. But I also see it as when you buy a renovation property, you tend to save some money on it based on the property price in your area. So even by me putting that on here, right now I'm probably breaking even. But I know that as soon as I start doing some other things, it will shoot up and I will be in a better position. But equally, like I say, I'm not doing it to sell. I'm not doing it. I'm just giving you that number to almost realise that actually the price of what you could potentially spend. However, like I say, a lot of it's high standard, and even my coving, so I was thinking about it the other day, my coving in my hallway, I think I paid just shy of £3,000 to just have it installed. That's not including the coving, that was just to have it installed because it was so intricate. My hallway's so big, I've got 4 different areas. The coving or cornice that I picked was really intricate. So it took the guy way over a week to do it. I can't remember the exact amount, but I'm talking between £2,000 and £3,000 just to have it installed. Whereas if I got plain coving, it would have probably cost me less than £1,000 to have it installed. But, so I guess I'm saying that because you can pick certain things that will add up your money, and I'm finding that out because now I'm going to do my office. I've just been quoted £380 to install the coving, which is much cheaper. That room's actually quite big, and this is from the same person, but it's because the coving is more simple now and there's not all the joins in terms of, if you've seen my coving in the hallway, I'm sure you have, it is really detailed, but I think it's absolutely worth it because I get to enjoy that all the time. And will that add that amount of money onto my house property? I don't know, but I'm not bothered because I'm not doing it to sell. The next question is, would you consider becoming an interior designer? So that for me, I would say would be the dream. Something that when I say I love interiors, like, I don't think it's just a, oh my god, I enjoy it. It's, I genuinely love it to my core. Like, I wake up, I think about it. I could do this all day and not feel like I'm working. I like talking to people about it. Like, even when I'm speaking to my friends, I'll easily fall into a conversation about interiors. So when I'm designing my space, and over the years, because I've had social media, I've had a lot of people reach out to me to ask me to do it, and I'm probably at a space where I just wouldn't know where to start in terms of, because I would already potentially have a bit of a client base based on the people that would want me to do work for them, but I just don't know where to go. I don't know the pricing, so there's probably something, maybe at some point me going and doing some sort of course, because I think that would be really helpful, and then that would be a potential for me to just get into it and do it. I think my career will definitely fall into interiors at some point. I'm manifesting that. I feel like owning something that's interior related and making that my passion, my business, because I feel like it will shine through, because honestly it's just what I love to do, and I know you guys love it as well. So right now it's not in my near plans to become an interior designer, but it's in my plans to have involvement with interiors as part of my living, and also figuring out a way of how I introduce that at some point as well. And yeah, I love it, and the thing that scares me about it is if I went into it as a career, does the love fall away a little bit? Because I look at some of my favourite interior designers like Studio McGee and Sophie Pattinson and Amber Interiors, and these people, and I get that social media, you could put a show on, but they look like they love what they do. I'm sure like any job, you have the days that are stressful, but for me, I would love to get into it at some point. The problem that I've also got as well is if you then go back to sort of intern or do something like that, do you earn an income to be able to keep a roof over my head? I'm not too sure. I would need to look into it. But then do I actually just skip that and go out and start offering the services? Obviously do courses, but start building on what I've already got. That could be a potential as well. But yes, would I become an interior designer? 110%. The next question is a really good question. It's about how you keep motivated to do the thing that you love without burnout. Burnout is a real thing. And for me, I feel like I struggle with it, especially being someone who's an introvert and someone who social battery will die quicker than a lot of other people's. I can often get burnt out. The bit for me that's why it's really important for me to create a space that I love, because I will recharge here. Like if I'm just spending time at home, I'll recharge. And I often find, because I work really hard, I like do my job that I do, I'll make sure that I'm uploading 2 videos a week for you, which is a lot of work to do. I'll make sure that all my other socials are up to date. I'm also trying to seek out some new opportunities as well. So I'm someone who is really career motivated, but really motivated in general when it comes to work, especially anything that's related to interior design. So that's why I think if you find something that you really love, you will be good at knowing when to almost step back and slow down a little bit. And my burnout, if I feel like I'm getting myself burnout, I'll just have a long weekend. I'll just book a long weekend and I'll just do me. So whether that be chilling at home, whether that be going to the cinema, whether that be just seeing friends and having some nice food and chilling out, whatever part it would be, I I just look after myself to be able to recharge my battery. I am in a really fortunate position, or well, some would say fortunate, but I'm in a fortunate position where I don't have to think of a lot of other people, so maybe people with kids. I can only imagine how hard that would be, because when you're when you're at burnout, you still have to be a parent and look after kids. If you're a partner, or if you're a carer, or if you're looking after anyone, I imagine that becomes a lot more tough, because you then have to put other people before you, potentially. Whereas I am, touch wood, in a really fortunate position at the minute where I can take the time that I need when I need to take time. But a really good question, and I think it's really important to look after your well-being, and when you feel yourself burning out, just take some time, whatever it is that you enjoy to do. And I love to go to HomeSense. So if I'm burning out, I'll go and spend a day in HomeSense and just walk around and look at all the goodies and just walk away. And sometimes I don't even have to buy something. Sometimes I just have to be in that space, and it makes me happy. Next question is my friend is moving house and I need gift ideas. Any tips? I love this question, because how amazing if you, for your friend that's moving into a house, and you to go around with a little gift that you've put a lot of thought into. So for me, if I was moving into a house, now there's a couple of ways that you can look at it. I can look at it from an interiors point of view, or I can look at it from a practical point of view. The practical one's probably like just things like a little basket of cleaning products, and you know, the things in your kitchen that you may not think about, like salt, vinegar, pepper, all that sort of stuff in a little basket. That would be one thing. But if we're talking interiors, which I think from you speaking to me, you probably are, I think coffee table book. For me, you cannot have enough coffee. I don't think anybody can. Coffee table book, to me, if someone got me that as a gift, I would be over the moon. And you can always stick to a neutral colour palette, because if you don't know how they're going to style their home, but that will go in any interiors, whether they're modern, whether they're traditional, whether they're Japandi, whether they're whatever their style is, a coffee table book will fit there. So you could never really go wrong with that. Again, a candle. Candles are always good. Little things like tissue boxes, something for on their coffee table, maybe some nice coasters that you can get, and you can get them really inexpensive from places like HomeSense, and there's lots of little retailers that do amazing ones. So I would say something for styling, but try and keep it quite neutral, especially if you've got someone, because if someone bought me something for my home that maybe was bright coloured, I don't know where I would put it. But if someone bought me a neutral coffee table book, or a neutral candle, or like, it would mean the world to me. So good luck with buying your friend a little gift, but I love that. And there's lots of little retailers out there as well, like really maybe go and check out some of those, because I think they're incredible to buy that stuff from. So yes. Next question is, what is your next project in your house? So if you watched my last video, my next project is going to be my office. So I am just currently planning out the style. I'm doing mood boards, I'm pulling together what I want the vibe to be in there. It is going to be incredible. I'm just in the middle of booking in my coving, so the guy's coming, that's what I was talking about before. So the guy's going to come and do that for me. That needs to be the first job, because it's already plastered. I need to tweak some electrics in there, because I'm making some changes, so I'll need to do that and then fill in all the mess that'll happen there. Then I need to pick my floors and my desk, and I'm going to do some built-ins myself. So it's going to be all guns, all go for my office, and yeah, I'll document it all on here. What I've decided that I'm going to do on here is I'm going to film it in the vlogs, so throughout, because I do 2 videos every week, so I want to make sure that I show you progress, but I'm also going to film one on the side that's going to be start to finish. So I'll have one video that'll just have the whole thing in it, because a lot of times I get have you done like a reveal, and I'm like, I'm not really the reveal kind of person. I'm normally like, guys, oh my god, look at these flowers. I get too excited and I show yous, and I'm going to do that and show yous, because I don't want to be someone who just goes and decorates a whole room and then comes and goes, guys, look. I don't want to do that. I want yous to be part of the process from start to finish, and I also get great tips along the way from you. So yes, the next room will be the office. It's quite a big space, so I'm actually really excited, because I need lots of styling space. I have lots of exciting things coming up in the future, so I need an area that I can go and just shut myself away. I can do filming like this in, and also I can style, and it is going to be my little escape in there, but it is going to be so nice. It's going to be styled and decorated to perfection. The next question, your curtains are stunning, where are they from? And do you switch them out seasonally? So these are the curtains I think that you're talking about. So I've got them in my bay window as well. I love them. These are really new. They've got a double pinch plate on top. They're from a company called Curtains to Go, sorry. And they are phenomenal. I have actually loved them. Like the way this plate is sitting perfectly makes me so happy. And the fabric's incredible. And I've ordered lots of samples for the material because I want to put their curtains in my office as well. So I'm thinking maybe like a tartan or something with a bit of a pattern on there, because I think honestly the way they look, I'm absolutely over the moon. I would definitely check them out because the prices that I was getting for bespoke curtains, it was wild. And I get these people make the curtains. I get that and it's a skill to be able to make curtains. So, and I would pay it, and I probably will pay it at some point in the future. But right now I needed to save a bit, but I also wanted that custom look. And I think you can get it there. And don't get me wrong, they're not the cheapest things in the world because you're still ordering bespoke. My ceilings are 10 foot, so that's a lot of fabric. But to get it looking like this, if you've got maybe lower ceilings, it may not be as much if your window's a bit smaller. So yeah, check them out. You can order free samples. That's what I done. I ordered lots of free samples and I picked the perfect fabric. And then I remember I was talking to you for a while. I was like, should I order them? I don't know whether to order just the bay and then here and blah blah. And I was a little bit all over the place, and I went, you know what, I just need to do it because, and I feel like curtains are quite old school, but curtains are something that I feel that I'm always going to have. I'm always drawn to them. I just think they make windows look incredible. And for my office, I'm thinking curtains like this, maybe with a bit of a pattern or something, and then I want like the sheer curtain behind it, so I'm not going to do blinds. In my office, I don't think, I may change my mind, so please don't shout at me, but I'm thinking curtains either side and then sheer, so that I don't have to put a blind up and down, and it can just be, oh my god, I think it would look so good. I've ordered some samples for that, so they should probably be here by maybe the end of this week. So in my next vlog, fingers crossed, I will be able to show you the fabrics that I've got. But I've already got a bit of a stash of fabrics from Curtains to Go because I've ordered quite a few samples when doing in here. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. And the blinds that I've got in here and the wooden ones, they're all from Blinds to Go. So it's the same company, but they've got a curtain section and a blind section. So I order from them all the time. Like even way back in my very first house, I think when blinds, when you would often blinds where you would pay someone to come out, measure your blinds, they would come and they would fit them and install them, and there wasn't a lot of companies that you could go on and put made to measure in yourself, and they would just send you them and you put them up. So when Blinds to Go were a thing, I found that they were cheaper. When I was obviously trying to save a bit of money, I would use them, and I've never gone away from them. Like genuinely, I have used them for years and years and years, and I would highly recommend them. You can order samples for everything, so I would never say just buy, because you're obviously paying. Get your samples, get them all sent out to you, whether it be blind. And my Roman blind in here, the one that's got like the florals on, that's actually from there as well. So PS, this isn't an ad. The next question is, would you offer styling services for homes, please? So this is similar to the interior design question, but I think what this person's asking is, would I offer where you send me maybe measurements, pictures, then I look at something and then go, right, this is my mood board that I would give to you. This is what I would do if I was in that space. And the answer to that is yes. I think that's maybe where I start. When I was talking to you before, I just don't know where to start with the full interior design. Maybe what I do is I have, right, well, if I had your room at this size, and you would then say to me, I like neutrals, or I like black and white, or I like pops of colour, or I like pink, or whatever it would be, I would then decorate a room, send a mood board, send a list of where all the items are from, and then that person would go and do it themselves. Whereas an interior designer would normally set up or design the room, be part of as it's all been done, be really close to it all and see it through from start to finish. Whereas this, someone would be paying for the service of, this is what I would buy, this is where I would buy it from. Here's your list of stuff. Here's the colours that I would put on your wall. This is the colours that I would have here. Here's the radiators that I would pick, or here's whatever it was that that person would want. Here's the chandelier that I would put in the space. I think I would do that, and I think it's definitely something in the next couple of years potentially that I will start doing. I just need to figure it out a little bit more, but it's definitely something that I'm thinking about, and it's something that you'll probably see at some point from myself. I love this question. So, were you always a DIY self-taught enthusiast, or is it all since you bought your home? So, I have always been intrigued and always been someone who's really inquisitive. I remember being the age of 5 and my mum's brother. I always remember him changing plug sockets and, you know, just doing little jobs around the house. And I distinctively remember going round and he was changing the plug on something in his house. I can't remember what it was, and I was so engrossed. I was like, can you show me how you do it? And I'm not even exaggerating, by the age of 5 I could change a plug. I could genuinely, I could do it. Like, there was times when I would play around, and now that I think back, I'm like, geez. But I guess that just shows you what kind of kid I was. I was very much someone who really liked to fix things, and I was really into interior design. I probably got some of it from my mum. My mum always changed her living room. That was her thing. So she would change the colours, she would change the furniture, she would change, like, you would come home from school some days and it'd be just a completely different colour, and she really loved to create that feeling in there. And I remember, like, my auntie, she would always have really nice curtains that she had custom made, and I remember back then I was like, oh my god. And I'm talking, I was the age 5, 6, 7, 8, so I was a really young kid, but I loved it. I remember that I would go into my auntie's house and, like, she would have a new vase, and I was just really, I don't know what it is, but I was infatuated by it, and I loved it, and still to this day I do. And I'm really surprised I never get into it as a career much younger, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't. I'm kind of glad that I've found my own way. I'm starting to figure out my own style. And then at some point I'm then going to bring that into my life in terms of it being potentially a career or something different at some point. So we'll see what that looks like. And in terms of the DIY, I think going back to my original point around saving and being really independent, I'm always someone who I don't really like to rely on a lot of people if I don't have to. So if I needed to save money, so paying someone to panel for you can be a lot of money, but that's because it takes a lot of work. So the tradesmen that will come in to do it, the amount of time that it would take them to do all the paneling in this room, I mean, I was quoted thousands to panel just in this space here, and I was like, no, I'll just do it on my own. That's when I'm like, actually, me being able to learn myself and not have to spend all that money, but equally give myself the skills to do it. I've always been like that. I've always been like that, again, because I'm not in a relationship where sometimes a lot of the things are split in half, or I need to do it myself, but it's really important to me to be independent and do a lot of this stuff myself. So that's probably why I started, but then I fell in love with it and I just enjoy doing it. There's certain jobs that I won't touch, so like electrics and stuff, I don't really like it. I don't get joy from it, and also, I'm not gonna lie, it freaks me out a little bit because I don't understand it that much. Whereas woodwork, joinery, most of the tools, all that sort of stuff I'm comfortable with, and I'm not perfect. I am not perfect at it. I'll give it a go. I may be rubbish first time, I'll try again, I may get a little bit better, I may get a little bit better, but you know, the stuff that I do isn't flawless, but I'm really happy with it and I get better every single time I do it. So in terms of the DIY, it's always something that I've loved to do. It's always something that I'll continue to love to do. And yeah, tiling is also something that I tried and I didn't enjoy it because I couldn't get it right. It was so difficult. So anytime that there's a tile involved, I will probably pay someone to do it because yeah, that creates frustration in me. And the last question that I'm going to answer is not interior style related, it's any book recommendations. And I'm not the biggest reader, but I do love to read, and I read quite a few books last year. My favourite read last year, I think, was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. If you've not read it and you're a reader, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was incredible. It's about an older lady who hires this writer to write about her life, and obviously it's about the Oscars and it's very Hollywood, but she then talks about her life, and actually it's so interesting. I was gripped. Like, I was absolutely gripped from the get-go, and when I finished that book, that was one book when I finished, I was like, I don't want this book to be finished. So if you're looking for a new read, an easy read, but you'll fall in love with the characters, and yeah, it's just incredible, I would definitely recommend The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. What else did I read last year? I did write my little list. Let me have a look, because I actually scored them as well. I read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I think this is a big hype and it's becoming a movie, so I would recommend that as well. It's more of a thriller about housemaid and just lots of things unearthed in the house. And there's 2 other books. I've not read the second or third one yet. I am going to read them though. I think I'm going to wait until autumn/October time to start reading those ones. But yeah, if you're looking for a little bit of a thriller with bits of twists and turns, definitely recommend that. Happy Place by Emily Henry. I really like this. People love Emily Henry. I found that this book, it was a nice read, it was an easy read. It's probably a beachy read, a summer read, something that would be easy to just sit on holiday with, and yeah, the characters are great, so I loved that. A Part of Your World by, is it Abigail Jimenez? And I probably butchered that, but yeah, A Part of Your World. It's about, I read this one quite a while ago. It's about a guy who lives in a small town, a farmer, and then this woman who's from a major city, and she's a doctor, and 2 worlds meet, and it's a romance book, but it's actually really good, so I really love that. I didn't want to put that one down when I was reading it. The other ones that I read, probably wouldn't recommend in terms of there, but I did also do some on audiobook, because I'm not the biggest reader, and if I'm in the car or if I'm cleaning, I love to have something on. So some of the books that I've got some to read as well, and I'm actually really excited about it. So I can't even think of the Mile High, so the Liz Thorne, Tom Ford, she's got a collection, Mile High. There's quite a few of them. I've read all of them other than the last one. They're actually really good. They're about, well, it's about a sports guy meets a girl, and then basically it follows on through, the books change, so it'll be maybe his friend and maybe someone she knows, and it's all within a like small circle, but actually really good. I enjoy it, quite spicy, so if you're into a spicy book, that could be the one for you. Icebreakers, again, that's more of a younger book. I didn't mind it, but it wasn't like my favourite. And anything else that I would recommend? I read Hooked. I think that's part of a series, and it's about a gangster meets a young girl. Actually pretty good, not a young girl, like she's younger than him. I can't remember the ins and outs, but actually really good. I enjoyed that. Somebody that I want to listen to is Ellen Hildebrand. So I've heard lots of great things about her. So I've got her book 28 Summers, so I'm going to do that. And I'm starting on the Chestnut Spring series, so I've already read the first book. I really enjoyed that. That's about a bull rider and a little town called Chestnut Springs, and again, it follows family members. So the first one's with, is his name Rhett, and it then goes on to his brother, and it's actually really good. So small town romance, really good. That was a couple of books that I've been reading, and I thought that would take us away from the, I mean, I love talking about interiors and I could talk about it all day, but I don't want to bore you guys, because you just may be like, Sheldon, you need to wrap this up. But yes, reading, I find it really therapeutic. What I need to be better at is when I become super busy, reading's the first thing that goes. So I need to be better at prioritising that, to maybe just make sure that I continue to do it, because honestly when I do it, it fills my heart, and I've got my to be read collection upstairs is massive. I've got so many books that I want to read that I need to get to at some point this year. So I think maybe I go to the audio. I think I'll do that question's probably inspired me to pick up and start on that book. So I hope you liked this. I know it's just me rabbiting on a lot and chatting to you, but hopefully you got to know me a little bit more. Hopefully you got to know how my brain works a little bit more. If you did like it, let me know. If you want me to do more things like this, let me know, because I would be happy to sit down and chat to you. Thank you so much for all your questions. If there's any questions that I didn't get to, I will, if you want me to do another one, comment in the comment section and I'll gladly do more, and I'll pop some more question boxes up and I can come back and answer some of the ones that I didn't get to. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That tells me that you do like stuff like this. And if you're not already subscribed, I would love it if you could push that subscribe button, and I will catch you in my next video.